The session is called to order. Everybody is requested to rise for the singing of the national anthem. Please remain standing for a minute of silent prayer. Majority Leader.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move for a roll call.
Roll call. Any objection? Cheers none. Secretary General is directed to call the roll of members.
Roll call of members, honorable representatives, Abaya, Abayon, Abellanosa, Abu, Abueg, Asharon, Akop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adiong, Adbincula, Agaraw, Agabaw, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbizon, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagatsing, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batocabe, Bautista Bandigan, Belaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biazon, Billones, Biron, Bolilia, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maria Vida, Rosas, Bulot Begtang, Cagas, Kalalang, Calderon, Calixto Rubiano, Caminero, Campos, Kanama, Kari, Casilaw, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Fred, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serapica, Ceriles, Chavez, Chipeco, Coanco, Coliantes, Cortés, Fortuna, Cosalán, Crisólogo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesús, De Venecia, De Vera, De Pensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, Del Oso Montalia, Dimaporo Abdullah, Dimaporo Muhammad, Duabit, Durano, D, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Estrella, Eusebio, Ebardone, Pariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Periol, Florendo, Flores, Fortun, Fortuno, Fuentebella, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose Enrique, Garcia Albano, Garin Oscar, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Go Ana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Alexandria, Gonzales Aurelio Dong, Gonzales Fernando, Goriseta, Gulias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hopper, Halos Hos, Javier, Konghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lazatin, Liachon, Lee, Lim Kaishong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhar, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudadato, Soharto, Mangudadato Zahid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Núñez Malañaon, Oaminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Bininola, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radaza, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sandoval, Sancopan, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar Mary, Sabeliano,
Pinabigay sa akin na pinirmahan natin yung
Sema,
pinapagawa natin sa
Xiao,
DNR. Yung classification into ENT ng mga
Silverio, Singson, Swansing Estrelita, Swansing Horacio,
all public lands
Suarez,
classified
si Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina,
baka mag-conflict dun sa Mount
Tan Milagrosa, Tan Cherny,
ayusin na lang natin.
Tejada, Tebes, Tiangco,
Para may identify natin kung ano-ano doon. Tama, kaya
Ting, Tinio, Tolentino,
sige.
Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villafuerte, Villanueva, Villarraza Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Biolago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Ronaldo, Zarate Zubiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 202 members responded to the call.
With 202 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve Journal Number 64 dated February 19, 2018. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Journal number 64 is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, before we move to proceed, or rather before we proceed to the reference of business, may I acknowledge the presence of the guest of Honorable Apple Pancho from Baliwag University College of Arts and Sciences, Baliwag, Bulacan, headed by Dr. Diosdado P. Estimada. May we request the guest of Representative Apple Pancho to please rise.
The guest of the Honorable Apple Pancho, welcome to the House of Representatives.
May we also acknowledge the presence of the guests of Honorable Rodolfo Fariñas, officials of Federation of Springville City Homeowners Association Incorporated, or rather, the guest of Representative Strike Revilla from the city of Bacoor, Cavite. We request the guest of
The Honorable guest of Honorable Strike Revilla, welcome to the House of Representatives.
We would also like to acknowledge the presence of the guest of Representative Cheryl Deloso Montalya, coming from the Ramon Magsaysay Technological University Graduate School, students from IBA Zambales, led by Dr. Novrina Bihilda Orsi, Dr. Domingo Idaño, Dr. Jeffrey Sipilio, Graduate School students and Graduate School students Masteral.
To the guests of the Honorable Cheryl Deloso Montalya, welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the reference of business and request that the Secretary General be directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as communications and committee reports. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as the communications and committee reports for referral to the appropriate committees.
Reference of business, bills on first reading, House Bill 7172, providing for the establishment of a TESDA training and accreditation center in the municipality of Ronda, province of Cebu, Representative Calderon.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 7173, extending for another 25 years the franchise granted to the Iglesia Ni Cristo, Representative Robes.
To the Committee on Legislative Franchises.
House Bill 7174, amending Republic Act 10588, Representative Sarmiento Edgar Mary.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Bill 7181, creating the Office of Philippine Overseas Labor Arbiter, Representative Bordado.
To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs.
House Bill 7182, establishing a district branch of the LTO in the municipality of Ronda, District of Cebu, Representative Calderon.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Bill 7183, declaring the 7-line reef in the province of Palawan as a protected seascape, Representatives Acosta, Abueg, Alvarez, Bravo, and Canama.
To the Committee on Natural Resources.
House Bill 7186, encouraging voluntary accreditation of private schools in the Philippines, Representative Castelo.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 7187, providing support to private schools, Representative Castelo.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 7188, providing support to private schools through the Special Education Fund, Representative Castelo.
To the Committee on Local Government.
Resolution, House Solution 1687, commending the DOE and the NEA for the swift action in behalf of the people of Abra, Representatives Uybareta and Bernos.
To the Committee on Energy.
Communications, report of Attorney Cesar Strait Pareja, Secretary General, House of Representatives.
To the Archives.
Committee reports. Report number 615 on House Bill number 7199.
to the Committee on Rules,
Report number 616 on House Solution 1700.
to the Committee on Rules,
Report number 617, House Bill number 7206.
to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8. And could the Secretary General be directed to read the title of this concurrent resolution?
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of said concurrent resolution.
Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8, resolution concurring in the posthumous conferment of the Quezon Service Cross to Miriam Defensor Santiago.
Majority
Mr.
Leader.
Speaker, I move that we adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. Senate Concurrent Resolution number 8 is hereby adopted.
Mr. Speaker, the authors of this Senate Concurrent Resolution regarding the posthumous conferment of the Quezon Service Cross to the Honorable Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago are the Honorable Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez, the Honorable Majority Leader Rodolfo Castro Fariñas, and the Honorable Minority Leader, the Honorable Danilo Suarez. I move that all members of the House who wish to become co-authors of this concurrent resolution be made so as to be submitted by the Committee on Rules. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize our Honorable Minority Leader, the Honorable Danilo Suarez. So move, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Minority Leader Danilo Suarez is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully submit two motions. First, I move for the appointment of Honorable Aniceto Bertis of ACTS OFW Party List as Assistant Minority Leader. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, my second motion is with respect to my written submission to the Committee on Rules, dated February 13, 2018. I move that Honorable Seriaco S. Calalang of Kabayan Party List replace Honorable Monsieur Del Rosario as representative of the minority to the following House committees: Games and Amusement, Basic Education and Culture, Dangerous Drugs, Ecology, Good Government and Public Accountability, Health, Housing and Urban Development, Justice, Metro Manila Development, National Defense and Security, Public Order and Safety, Tourism, Transportation, Youth and Sports Development, and Basis Conversion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration on third reading of House Bill number 7115. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter to call the roll for nominal voting.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read title of House Bill 7155.
House Bill number 7115, an act penalizing the conversion or causing the conversion of irrigated in irrigable lands, amending for the purpose Republic Act number 6657 as amended, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law of 1988. Roll call of members. Consideration House Bill number 7155. Abaya, Abayon, Abillanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Adbingula, Agaraw, Agabao, Aglifay Bilyar, Albano, Alcala, Alihano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagaw, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batucabe, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte S. Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maravida, Brosas, Bulbigtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixturbiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Fredenil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serapica, Cirilles, Chavez, Chipeco, Coanco, Collantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, De Loso Montalia, De Maporo Abdullah, De Maporo Khalid, Duabit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Floirendo, Flores, Fortuno, Pentebelia, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose, Garcia Albano, Garin Richard, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Heron, Guana Cristina, Go Mark, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Alexandria, Gonzales Aurelio Dong, Gonzales Fernando, Goriseta, Gullias, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hofer, Halosos, Javier, Konghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Liachon, Limkay Chong, Lobrigat, Lopez Benhur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagal-Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Magudadato Suarto, Magudadato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Meliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Nunez Maliñaon, Guaminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sancopan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Savillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Swansea Giselita, Swansea Horacio, Suarez, Si Alvarado, Tan Bunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tiño, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villapuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Gilago, Yap Arthur, Yap Milesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Samora Marcamen, Samora Ronaldo, Sarate, Subiri.
With 188 members voting in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstention, the Chair declares House Bill number 7115 as having been approved on third and final reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration on third reading of House Bill number 652. For this purpose, may I request that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill and thereafter to call the roll for nominal voting. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The Chair is none. The Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill 652 and thereafter call the roll for nominal voting.
House Bill number 652, an act creating an additional branch of the Regional Trial Court in Osambi City, converting the Municipal Circuit Trial Court covering the municipalities of Clarin and Tudela into the Municipal Trial Court of Clarin, and creating a new Municipal Circuit Trial Court covering the municipalities of Sinakaban and Tudela, all in the 2nd Legislative District of the Province of Misamis Occidental. And appropriating funds therefore, amending for the purpose Batas Pambasa Bilang 129, otherwise known as the Judiciary Reorganization Act of 1980. Roll call of members. Consideration House Bill number 652. Abaya, Abayon, Abillanosa, Abu, Abueg, Acharon, Acop, Acosta, Acosta Alba, Adjong, Advingula, Agrao, Agabao, Aglipay Villar, Albano, Alcala, Alejano, Almario, Almonte, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Andaya, Angara Castillo, Antonino, Antonio, Aquino Magsaysay, Aragones, Arbison, Arcillas, Arenas, Atienza, Aumentado, Bagao, Bagaching, Bagilat, Banal, Barbers, Barsaga, Batawil, Batucabe, Bautista Bandigan, Bilaro, Belmonte Feliciano, Belmonte Jose Christopher, Belmonte Ricardo, Benitez, Bernos, Bertiz, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bulilla, Bundok, Bordado, Bravo Anthony, Bravo Maravida, Brosas, Bulat Bigtang, Cagas, Calalang, Calderon, Calixturbiano, Caminero, Campos, Canama, Cari, Casilaw, Castelo, Casafrans, Casapredenil, Catamco, Cayetano, Celeste, Serafica, Cirilles, Chavez, Chipeco, Cuanco, Juliantes, Cortés, Cortuna, Cosalan, Crisólogo, Cuba, Cuaresma, Cueva, Dalipe, Datol, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, De Vera, Defensor, Del Mar, Del Rosario, De Los Montalia, Dimaporo Abdullah, Dimaporo Khalid, Duwabit, Durano, Di, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Erigel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Eusebio, Ibardone, Fariñas, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Ferriol, Florendo, Flores, Fortuno, Fentebella, Garbin, Garcia Gwendolyn, Garcia Jose, Garcia Albano, Gary Richard, Gary Sharon, Gasataya, Gachalian, Heron, Goana Cristina, Gomart, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Alexandria, Gonzales Aurelio Dong, Gonzales Fernando, Guriseta, Gullas, Hernandez, Herreradi, Hofer, Halasos, Javier, Konghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lagman, Lanete, Laugan, Lasatin, Lia Chon, Lee, Lim Kay Chong, Lubrigat, Lopez Benur, Lopez Carlo, Lopez Manuel, Loyola, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Manalo, Mangawang, Mangudato Suarto, Mangudato Sajid, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariño, Marquez, Martinez, Matugas, Miliana, Mending, Mendoza, Mercado, Mirasol, Montoro, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Carlo, Nolasco, Nunez Malañaon, Waminal, Ocampo, Olivares, Ong Edwin, Ong Henry, Ortega Pablo, Ortega Vini, Pacquiao, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Paganiban, Panotes, Papandayan, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Primicia Sagabas, Kimbo, Radasa, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Relampagos, Revilla, Roapuno, Robes, Rocamora, Rodriguez Isidro, Rodriguez Maximo, Roman, Romero, Romualdez, Romualdo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sahali, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Salon, Sambar, Sancopan, Sandoval, Santos Recto, Sarmiento Cesar, Sarmiento Edgar, Savillano, Sema, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Suansing Silita, Suansing Horacio, Suarez, Si Alvarado, Tambunting, Tan Angelina, Tan Milagrosa, Tan Shirley, Tejada, Teves, Chanco, Ting, Tino, Tolentino, Treñas, Tugna, Tupas, Ti, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Unico, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Uy Barreta, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velarde, Velasco, Velasco Catera, Veloso, Vergara, Villapuerte, Villanueva, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Villarin, Vilago, Yap Arthur, Yap Melesio, Yap Victor, Yu, Samora Marcamen, Samora Ronaldo, Sarate, Subiri.
With 189 members voting in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, the Chair declares House Bill number 652 is approved on third and final reading. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we acknowledge the presence of the guests of Representative Florida Robes from the city of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, who are here on Alakbay Aral sa Kongreso. May we request the guests of Representative Florida Robes to please rise to be acknowledged.
The guest of the Honorable Florida Robes, please rise. Welcome to the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we designate the following members to the Bicameral Conference Committee on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 5269 and Senate Bill number 1279, institutionalizing the National School Feeding Program for public kindergarten and elementary pupils. Representative Ramon Red Durano IV, Representative Raul V. Del Mar, Representative Wes Gatchalian, Representative Evelina Escudero, Representative Marlene Primicias Agabas, and Representative Julieta Cortona. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we designate the following as additional members of the Bicameral Conference Committee on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 5792 and Senate Bill number 1533, institutionalizing the Balik Scientist Program. Representative Alan Jesse Mangaong, Representative Edward Vera Perez Maceda. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Rules, in its meeting dated February 13, 2018, decided to recommit to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education House Resolution number 1645 to allow the committee to introduce some perfecting amendments thereto. Mr. Speaker, I move that we recommit House Resolution number 1645 to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, under the calendar of unfinished business, I move that we resume consideration of House Bill number 6425. And for this purpose, may I ask that the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Secretary General is directed to read the title of House Bill number 6425.
House Bill number 6425, an act prescribing an urgent, comprehensive, and integrated land-based traffic management policy to effectively address the traffic congestion crisis in Metro Manila, Metropolitan Cebu, and Metropolitan Davao, appropriating funds therefore.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the parliamentary status of the bill is that it is in the period of sponsorship and debate. I move that the chairperson of the Committee on Transportation, Representative Cesar Sarmiento, be recognized.
The Honorable Chairman of the Committee on Transportation, Representative Sarmiento, is recognized for the sponsorship of this bill.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of the interpellation.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Period of interpellation is now open.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman from Party List Buhay, Representative Jose Atienza Jr.
The Honorable Representative Atienza is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Majority Floor Leader, and with the kind indulgence of the sponsor, Congressman Sarmiento, this representation would like to clarify certain matters.
Yes, you may do so, gentleman from Party List Buhay.
Kapuna-puna po na ang pamagat nitong kanyang panukalang batas ay makiisa, makisama, magkaisa. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po yun, tama po yun.
Ano po ba ang tunay na pakay nitong inyong panukalang ito in summary?
Well, doon sa binanggit mo na makiisa, magkaisa, magkasama, itong problema po natin na kinakaharap, itong traffic crisis, ay halos lahat ay apektado. So, the solution to addressing the problem of traffic that we are experiencing would involve the participation of everybody so that we will be able to address the problem of traffic. So, maraming factors po, maraming dahilan kung bakit may traffic pa tayo nararanasan sa mga metro areas. Dahil po sa number one, yung wala tayong efficient mass transportation. And then nandyan po yung situation, lalo na dito sa Metro Manila, na we have 17 LGUs broken down as 16 cities and 1 municipality, that they have their own traffic rules and regulations na ang layunin po ng panukalang batas na ito ay sana ma-harmonize ito para maibsan natin, ma-alleviate ang problem of traffic here in Metro Manila and other metro areas.
In short, Mr. Speaker, the gentleman stresses that the purpose of this bill is to improve or solve the traffic mess prevailing in the metro region and the urban centers of the country like Cebu and Davao. Tama po ba yan?
Tama po yun.
Ano po ba ang inyong nakikita na tunay na problema kung bakit ang ating pagdaloy ng traffic sa ating mga urban centers, katulad po ng Metro Manila, ay tunay na pinagdurusahan natin lahat? What do you think is the number one reason for all of this?
Siguro hindi po yung number one, kung hindi. Maraming factors po. Pwede po dyan sa gaya ng sinabi ko na iba't ibang traffic rules and regulation being issued by different cities and municipality. And then sa kawalan po, insufficient mass transportation system in Metro Manila, sa kawalan po ng disiplina ng other sectors, sa transport sector. And then sa paggamit po ng mga kalsada wherein may mga kalsada na hindi dapat nakapark ang mga sasakyan ay pinahihintulutan ng ating LGU or may mga activities po na pinapayagan po ng LGUs na magkaroon ng mga like for instance yung paglamay, mga parada at iba't iba pa.
Yun lang po ba ang inyong nakitang mga problema o meron pa kayong gustong ibahagi sa amin lahat na hindi pa namin alam?
Well, nabasa ko sa ating pahayagan na nagkaroon kayo nagsalita po kayo, among others yung naging sanhi ng ating problema, yung ating mga traffic enforcers na hindi ginagampanan ang tunay nilang trabaho, na kung saan hindi na tutugunan ang sa maayos na pagdaloy ng ating trapiko sa ating mga lansangan.
Sa tingin po ba ng ating kagalang-galang na Kongresista Sarmiento, sa pagpasa nitong batas na ito, magtatrabaho na po ang lahat ng kinauukulan ng ayon sa kanilang sinumpaan tungkulin?
Sa aking palagay, kailangan po natin ito dahil hindi kaila sa lahat na talagang ramdam natin ang matinding problema. So, kailangan po natin na to require the covered agencies to effectively discharge the duties and responsibilities in order to address the problem of traffic. So, kung sa pagtingin po ng kagalang-galang ng gentleman from Party List of Buhay, will this make our traffic enforcers discharge their functions to ensure the free flow of traffic? Well, we have that problem, but we have to stress the point that at this point in time, there is really a need to ensure that traffic enforcers or even local officials will do their share in seeing to it that traffic crisis would be alleviated.
Mr. Speaker, ang ating sistema ngayon sa pagpapatakbo ng ating traffic conditions ay punong-puno na po ng batas. Lahat po ng uring batas na isipin ninyo. Meron po tayong batas ng nagawa dyan sa ating Kongreso, sa Senado, sa mga local government units, sa mga konseho. Patong-patong na po ang batas. Ngayon, meron po tayo nakasalang na batas na naman ang pagbibigay pa ng higit na kapangyarihan sa Metro Manila Development Authority. So, puro batas ang meron tayo. Ang kulang natin ay pagpapatupad. Enforcement of existing laws is what is glaringly the number one problem. And indeed, if you read my statement, I stressed, which you seem to have failed in your studies to notice, it's corruption. That is the number one problem why we're in such a mess. Corruption in all levels of government. Corruption in the local government. Corruption in the enforcement department. Corruption in the PNP. Corruption in the enforcement of traffic rules and regulations. Wala po ako nakita rito. Wala po ako nakita sa inyong pagsusuri na binanggit ninyo, corruption is the number one problem. It's not the law, but the misapplication of the law and abuse of power that is causing the problem. Ito po batas ninyong ito yung tinatawag na emergency law that will supposedly solve the traffic problem. Emergency measures, ganun po ba yan?
Ang gaya po sa obserbasyon ninyo, ang problema po natin sa trapiko ngayon, hindi lang po maiugat sa isang dahilan. patong-patong ang factors kung bakit nagkakaroon ng pagbuhol-buhol ng trapiko sa ating kalsada. Gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, siguro kailangan po ng single traffic authority para matugunan ang problema natin sa trapiko. Unlike sa present situation na again sinabi ko na may kanya-kanyang traffic rules and regulation, halimbawa po ang City of Makati magpapasa po ng traffic rules and regulation para dun po sa lugar po ng Makati without taking into consideration yung nearby LGUs. In other words, there is a need to harmonize the various traffic rules and regulation at kasama po na po dyan yung kung paano paggamit o i-classify po ang mga kalsada dahil may mga ordinansa dyan disallowing parking in secondary roads. But there are other city governments that allow parking and they're even collecting parking fees in that situation. So, marami pong factors, hindi lang po yung nasasabi nyo. Ang dahilan kung bakit may problema po tayo sa trapiko.
At the outset, Mr. Speaker, we have to disagree with the gentleman. He sees the problem as one of needing to create another level of bureaucracy to address the problem. We see it otherwise. Ako po'y nagsilbi sa local government unit. Ako po'y 7 na taon na mahala po ng traffic sa lungsod ng Maynila. Nakita ko po ang problema talaga. Sa simula't simula, ang problema ay corruption. Wala nagpapatupad ng batas sa tamang paraan. Kaya nagkakaroon ng buhol-buhol sa mga panulukan ay nagkakaroon ng gridlock sapagkat yung dapat nagpapatupad ng batas ay hindi nagtatrabaho. Yun po ang inisikaso namin. And we solved the problem of traffic during our time. We did not need an emergency power. We did not need to bypass existing rules and regulations on biddings, on procurement, on supplies. We did not give anybody emergency powers. But what made you think that this proposed law will address the problem squarely when it is disjointed in the sense that it is looking at another side when the problem is glaring before you? Yung po bang mga terminal ng bus sa EDSA, yung po ba illegal?
Well,
Sa inyong pananaw?
Well, sa ngayon po, may authority sila na mag-put up po dyan ng terminal. They were issued clearances from the LGU, from LTFRB.
I think the gentleman should review his knowledge of existing laws. Bawal na bawal po magkaroon ng terminal sa EDSA. Meron na pong ordinansa yan, meron na pong batas yan. Kaya yan ay pwedeng pigilin at hindi na pabayaan. Bawal na bawal po ang pumarada ang mga bus sa highway, Buendia, sa North Avenue, dito sa Commonwealth. Hindi pwedeng pumarada ang mga dambuhal at naglalakihan sasakyan sapagkat yan ay pinagbabawal na. Ang tanong ko po ay, ang problema ba'y batas o hindi pagpapatupad ng batas?
Ang sa aking palagay po, if there is an existing law that outlaws the establishment of terminals along EDSA or prohibiting parking of buses along the highways, eh siguro hindi naman po papayag ang concerned agency like MMDA or probably the LGUs in allowing the existence of those terminals that contribute a lot to the problem of traffic. So, with due respect, wala po akong alam na nagbabawal or batas na nagbabawal na mag-put up ng terminals along EDSA.
Dito po tayo magkalihis ng pananaw. Sa paningin ng ating kagalang-galang na sponsor, wala nang magagawa ko hindi ipagbawal. Eh, bawal po eh. Ano ipagbabawal? Yung bawal? Pwede po bang magburol ng patay sa anuman lansangan? Sa tingin po ninyo.
Well, sa aking palagay, yung bagay na yan, trabaho po ng ating LGUs yan, sa pagpapatupad at sa pagkakaroon ng kaayusan sa trapiko, especially within the jurisdiction of its city, I think the local government units must have the political will to clear the roads with obstruction. So halimbawa, yung sa pagkakaroon ng burol or lamay sa mga kalsada, sa palagay ko po, mas alam niyo po ito dahil naging alkalde po kayo ng Manila, unless they're not given authority from barangay or the city government, that will not happen, putting up wakes along the roads.
Sa tingin pa po ba ng kagalang-galang na sponsor, yung pagtira sa gitna ng kalye ay legal?
Ay definitely po, hindi po legal ang tumira sa gitna ng kalsada.
Illegal. Sa tingin po ba nila yung magtambak ng construction material sa sidewalk at sa lansangan ay ayon sa batas?
Sa palagay ko, hindi ayon sa batas.
Sa tingin po ba nila yung magtambak ng basura at hindi kolektahin sa gitna ng kalsada ay ayon sa sinumpahang tungkulin ng mga nanunungkulan?
Well, yung mga nabanggit nyo po ay talagang hindi po pwede yun. Siguro, you're just stressing the point, if that is not allowed by a law or local rules and regulations, how come nangyayari po yan? Tama po kayo, it's a matter of enforcement, but for so long a time, LGUs are given the opportunity to make their cities livable in order to ensure the free flow of traffic. Yet, up to this time, we are suffering traffic simply because the LGUs do not exercise strong political will in seeing to it that roads are clear for traffic.
Sa tingin po ba ng ating kagalang-galang na sponsor nitong panukalang ito, ang magpatakbo ng ating railway system ay ibig sabihin ay bumili ng 48 tren na hindi magagamit sapagkat hindi bagay sa ating riles? Yung po ba ay ayon sa inyong pananaw ng good, effective government?
With due respect, paki-ulit po yung tanong mo.
Binabanggit ko po ito sapagkat kung tatakbo lamang ang ating MRT at ang ating PNR ng tama, ay maganda po ang malaking may tutulong po nito sa daloy ng ating traffic at ng mga manggagawa sa ating Metro Manila region. Pero kung ang MRT ay sira, miya, at bumili ang nakaraang administrasyon ng 48 bagon na hindi magamit ngayon, ang tanong ko po ay, may nanagot na po ba dyan? Meron po ba nakulong? Dapat nakakulong na ngayon yung mga bumili niyang mga tren na yan. Kaya ang tinutukoy ko po, yung po ba'y tama o mali?
Well, for the information of the honorable gentleman from Party List Buhay, charges have been filed against the officials responsible for the entry of 48 Dalian trains, and it is pending at the Ombudsman. Well, I must agree with the gentleman from Buhay that the problem of traffic can greatly be alleviated if we have an efficient public transportation, like for instance the MRT. But the problem is, on a daily basis, the MRT system experiences glitches almost every day.
Mabuti naman at nabanggit nila na hanggang sa kasalukuyan, meron po tayong problema sa pagpapatakbo ng ating katangi-tangi kaisa-isang mass transport system, yung ating MRT at yung ating Philippine National Railways. Nung isang
And-
araw lamang, tumigil na naman.
And LRT, not necessarily
And LRT.
MRT, LRT, and
Mabuti
PNR.
naman at alam ninyo na yan kung aayusin lang, ay palagay ko wala tayong pinagdidibatihan ngayon. Pero dahil sa hindi naasikaso at kurakot ang inisip, korupsyon ang problema, kaya hindi nakapigil, maski na sino pa man. Dahil yun ang problema. Merong connivance between the supplier and the buyer. The Philippine government opened up itself for prostituting itself to the corrupt sellers of these wagons. Now, we are talking about providing more avenues for corruption. I say this because if we suspend the laws covering on procurement, on biddings, and we allow corruption to persist in our system, lalo pong lalala ang problema. Hindi po natin masusolve ito. Dahil ang inyong batas, itong panukalang batas na ito, ay nagbibigay ng emergency powers sa mga kinauukulan. I do not doubt the integrity of our President. He means well. He is the first one to shout that corruption is the number one problem of our country. And I agree with him 100%. But this bill will even exacerbate. It will allow the commission of more corruption in government because you aim to suspend existing laws and rules covering all of these actions and decisions which breed corruption in our country. Paano po ang mangyayari sa atin kung ipasa natin to at bigyan natin ng laya ang lahat? Bumili ng tren, dagdagan pa natin yung 48, gawin natin 100 na tren yan na hindi bagay sa ating riles. Pabayaan natin ang pagpapatupad ng batas. Sa halip na linisin natin ang ating mga lansangan, pinababayaan natin tirhan, pinababayaan natin ang mga dambuhalang korporasyon na nagtatayo ng gusali, gamitin ang kalahati ng lansangan para sa kanilang graba, buhangin, semento, bakal. Hayaan natin ang mga junk dealers, gamitin ang ating mga lansangan para hindi na po madaanan ng motorista. Ano po mangyayari sa atin? Ito po ba'y makapagbabago ng ating kalagayan sa buhay? Sa ating kalagayan, sa ating ekonomiya? Palagay ko po, hindi yun ang mangyayari. Humihingi kayo ng pagkakaisa, makiisa, makisama, magkaisa. Magagandang panawagan po yan. Wala po sigurong tatanggi dyan. Pero kung ang ating pinag-uusapan, makiisa, na huwag natin tumbukin tunay na problema, makisama kayo, tumahimik na lang kayo, at magkaisa tayong lahat dito sa malayang pamamaraan ng mga nag-aabusong mga taong gobyerno. Palagay ko'y isip-isipin po ninyo. I appeal to the gentleman to face reality. Our problem right now in the avenues and boulevards of the urban centers is one of abuse of authority. Nag-aabuso po ang mga may kapangyarihan. Sa halip na magtrabaho ang mga pulis, magtrabaho ang enforcer, nakatago sa tabi. Manghuhuli na lang kapag kami nagkamali para makahingi ng kanilang pananghalian. Ang mga traffic light, inaareglo upang kontrolado nila ang takbo ng trapiko at sila masusunod. At hindi yung pinag-aralan ng mga kinauukulan upang ang ating mga traffic lights ay magamit sa efficient flow of traffic rather than discretionary use para po naman lumaki ang kanilang iuuwing kita sa gabi. Ito po ang mga problemang nakabilad sa ating mga mukha. Is a gentleman seeing differently? Am I developing a negative attitude or I am seeing reality and I am expressing them today in the halls of Congress?
Well, firstly, I would like to take exception to the statement of the gentleman from Party List Buhay that this proposed measure intends to suspend the law on procurement by allowing the president through the traffic chief to enter into a negotiated contract. Because presently, Republic Act 9184 recognizes other methods of procurement other than competitive public bidding. The general rule is competitive public bidding, and of course, there is an exception only in highly exceptional cases wherein other methods of procurement is recognized. And one of the alternative methods is negotiated procurement. Now, it is allowed when in 3 instances, repeat order, 2 failed bidding, number 2 in case of emergency and man-made calamity. In this proposed measure, we are making a declaration and recognition that this situation is of such an emergency situation that it will now fall under one of the alternative methods of procurement, which is negotiated procurement. Even until now, even without this proposed measure, negotiated procurement is recognized under Republic Act 9184. So we do not intend to suspend the provisions of procurement law with the passage of this proposed measure.
Mr. Speaker, at this junction, let me make it myself very clear. As the gentleman seems to be skirting the issue and diverting the issue on the integrity of the President, I have not mentioned anything along that line. In fact, I stress, kung si Pangulong Duterte ang bibigyan mo ng emergency powers on all of these matters contained in your proposed law, I will agree with you because I believe in his integrity. But if you're giving the whole bureaucracy, all these methods that you are mentioning, and changing the norms that we are now using to buy requirements of governance, hindi po ako naniniwalang pare-pareho ang integrity ng mga nagpapatakbo ng ating pamahalaan. Lagay natin dito, all decisions will be made by the President, no less. Payag po tayo. Magkakaisa tayo. Kapagkat hindi po ako naniniwalang marumi ang layunin ng ating Pangulo. Hindi lamang po kayo ang merong paniniwala sa Pangulo. Naniniwala po kami sa kanyang kagustuhang ituwid ang baluktot na sistema ng ating pamamahala. Subalit, itong batas ninyo ay nagbibigay ng paraan upang lahat ng mga kinauukulan ay makagamit ng ibang paraan upang makaikot sila sa striktong pamamaraan ng pagbili at paggamit ng salapi ng bayan. And that is the gist of our point of discussion and debate this afternoon. We do not believe that giving the bureaucracy all the leeway for changing the norms that we are following strictly will open up efficiency. On the other hand, it will cause more corruption in government. And having said that, I would like to again reiterate, wala dito sa measure na ito na humaharap dun sa mga binanggit ko sa inyong katotohanan sa lansangan. Katotohanan nangyayari, hindi po mga kataga, hyperbolic, philosophical words which do not really genuinely address the problem. Ang sabi niyo, magkikreate ng tanggapan at sila ngayon mag-aaral. Magkikreate pa ng tanggapan. And dami na pong tanggapan ngayon, magmula po sa national, provincial, regional, sa Metro Manila, andyan po MMDA. Local government, andyan po. At may barangay pa tayo. Na kung hindi nagtatrabaho, yan ang nagiging sanhi ng problema. Gina-justify pa ninyo ngayon na ang mga terminal ay legally situated. I challenge the gentleman to prove that, and I will prove otherwise, that they are illegally situated. I cannot agree that Buendia was widened by the government. Diluwagan. upang ibigay yung kalahati sa mga bus companies. Yung po ba'y legal? Are you trying to defend that kind of abuse of authority which is causing the traffic mess from Makati up to Mall of Asia? Gagapang kayo ron sapagkat ang mga bus naghambalan sa Buendia, ginagamit po ang kalahati ng Buendia na niluwagan ng gobyerno. Gumamit ng bilyon-bilyon salapi ng bayan upang ibigay sa mga bus companies. And you just mentioned that this is within the bounds of law. Eh kaya pala naman hindi gumagalaw itong mga illegal na ito sapagkat sa tingin ninyo, legal. At sa tingin po ng mamamayan at pangkaraniwang abogado, eh palagay ko itutugisin nila yung mga yan na hindi po legal ang ginagawa nila.
Well, sa pananaw niyo po na yung mga terminals po along Buendia and EDSA, they are illegal. But I beg to disagree because the authority to issue, to put up a terminal is lodged with the LTFRB. And I'm sure these terminals, while we may perceive that these are the major contributors to traffic, but still they have the authority from LTFRB. So the policy as regards the existence of terminal is just to mitigate the problem of traffic by the so-called nose-in, nose-out policy. But the presence of these terminals along EDSA, they are covered with authority coming from LTFRB.
Mr. Speaker, is the gentleman saying again that the ones responsible and should be made accountable is the LTFRB on the illegal, ulitin ko po, illegal bus terminals using our avenues? You're saying that it's the LTFRB that we should be looking at? Pakiulit nga po niyo sinabi niyo. Sinabi niyo, LTFRB should be made to answer. Tama po ba yan?
Well, ayon sa ating existing laws and regulation as regards the operations of public utility vehicles wherein bus companies or transport companies are required to put up a terminal concomitant to the authority to operate a transport business would be the putting up of a terminal. Ang nagbibigay po ng authority niyan is no other than LTFRB, and the transport or bus company would then be required under the LGUs to secure a business permit from LGU. But the authority to put up a terminal is lodged with the LTFRB.
Sino po yun?
LTFRB.
Uulitin ko, Mr. Speaker, I disagree with him. 100%. Ang terminal na itatayo dahil po sa local government unit na pumapayag. Hindi po LTFRB yan. LTFRB pagbibigay ng lisensya sa pag-ooperate ng bus, pagbibigay ng linya. Pero yung pagtayo ng terminal, local government unit po yan. Kaya kung tatawagan ng pansin ng gobyerno ang mga kinauukulan, hindi sa pamamagitan ng bagong batas, kundi pagganap ng tungkulin nila, ay mababawasan ng malaki ang ating problema ang pinag-uusapan. Isa pong issue na gusto ko rin talakayin, yung po bang paglalagay ng gate sa mga barangay ay legal? Sa inyong pananaw?
Gate po sa
mga lansangan ng bayan.
Ang authority po niyan under the local government code. The power to open or to close would be vested sa Sangguniang Bayan or Sangguniang Panlunsod.
Mr. Speaker, the gentleman is way off the direction of the law. Wala pong batas na nagsasabing pwedeng serhan ang isang kalye, lansangan na ginagamit ng bayan. Wala po. Even the city council would be illegally using their powers. They can be abused, called for the abuse of their authority if they allow the closing of certain streets for the private use of the private residents. Ang tinutukoy ko po yung mga dahilan kaya meron tayong problema. Pag kayo'y galing po sa Makati, tatawid kayo, pupunta kayo ng Maynila, hindi kayo makakadaan sa alternative route dahil punong-puno ng kabulukan. Doon po naman sa Main Avenue sa Camagong at doon sa extension ng Vito Cruz, ay meron po namang mga dapat madaan ng mga side streets, pero hindi na po madadaanan sapagkat naka-gate. They are now gated communities. Sa Maynila, pumasok po kayo sa Sampaloc, pumasok kayo sa San Andres Bukid, ganun na rin po, naglagay din po ng gate ang mga barangay. Parang hindi nakikita po ng gobyerno. Tayo naman, buhol-buhol na tayo sa traffic, wala tayong kibo. At ngayon, magbibigay tayo ng panukala, bigyan na natin ng emergency power sa mga yan para masolve ang problema. Tignan muna natin. Isa-isahin natin itong mga binanggit ko. Aksyonan natin. Ilagay natin sa tama ang kalagayan ng ating mga lansangan. Dadaan kayo sa mga vehicular underpass. Kuminsan maliwanag, maayos. Tuloy-tuloy ang daloy ng traffic. Madalas, madilim na naman. Bakit? Walang maintenance. Sino nagkukulang? Nagkukulang po ang gobyerno. DPWH, local government unit, hindi po natin ginagawa ang tama. Alam nyo, Mr. Speaker, umikot kayo sa Metro Manila, lahat itong mga binanggit ko, mapapansin nyo, lahat katotohanan. Na ngayon ay parang hindi nakikita ng ating kagalang-galang na sponsor nitong ating emergency measure. Ang sa amin po, bigyan natin ng aksyon, yung mga dapat aksyonan. Ituwid natin ang mga baluktot na pamamaraan. Linisin natin ang hanay ng korupsyon sa hanay ng mga may hawak ng kapangyarihan. Pag kulang pa ho, tsaka tayo mag-isip ng mga iba't ibang paraan. Your novel ways of procurement and your novel ways of government using people's money, tsaka natin pag-usapan yan. Pero sa ngayon, nagpatong-patong po ang problemang ginagawa ng mga nag-aabuso, bibigyan pa natin ng kapangyarihan yung mga nag-aabuso. Palagay ko'y mananagot tayo sa bayan yan. At sasabihin nila na kung hindi natin pinag-usapan ito ngayon at kami bumoto na lamang, ay kami naman ay hindi tumupad sa amin tungkulin. So, Mr. Speaker, we point out all of these matters today in the halls of Congress when we are in the eve of approving a measure that to us will not solve the traffic problem of Metro Manila, urban Cebu, or urban Davao. The use of emergency powers and other modes of procurement should be reserved for those who have tried every bit and space of the law. We have enough laws in the country. We have enough ordinances in Metro Manila. All we need is the correct enforcement of all of these laws that are now in place. To add one more law, big law, and to add one more bureaucracy, the super body that the gentleman is envisioning. Centralizing everything will not solve the problem. Centralization of power breeds more corruption. Decentralization is the rule of the day. We have to decentralize governing the different communities, and the Constitution of the Philippines now provides this when they created the barangays in our democratic system. But to allow them to abuse their powers is something else. And again, I appeal to the gentleman, maghunos dili kayo. Huwag kayong humingi ng pakikiisa, pakikisama, at pagkakaisa. Kung ang hinihingi ninyo ay pabayaan na lamang ang lahat ng kabuktutan sa mga lansangan at bigyan ng kapangyarihan ang mga namumuno. It will not solve the problem. It will aggravate the situation. It could even come to a point where we will all suffer the consequences of the impact of this law. So where there is time, I appeal to all of my colleagues, pag-aralan nating mabuti ito. Hindi ganun kasimple ito. Hindi si Pangulong Duterte ang binibigyan lamang ng paraan dito na magamit yung kanyang kapangyarihan sa kanyang malinis na hangarin. Ang marami pong gagamit nitong batas nito ay yung mga mag-aabuso sa kapangyarihan ngayon na nakapwesto sa iba't ibang sangay ng pamahalaan. From the barangay to local government units, provincial officials, and the regional governments will only hide behind this law, which will justify not only their incompetence, but their abusive and corrupt practices. I read the report of the gentleman. I listened to him during his presentations, and I'm sorry to tell him, you are way off the mark. Hindi po niyo tinumbok ang problema. Iniwasan ninyo yung katagang corruption. Corruption is the number one problem that you and I and all the rest of the members of Congress should address today, and not to create another monster in our system. In our quest for solutions, we may be giving our people a bigger monster to confront. Hindi ito, wala po itong kinalaman sa inyo personal. Alam kong wala po namang pakinabang kayo sa bisa nitong batas na ito. Pero kung sino man ang tumulong sa inyo rito, ay hindi nakakakita ng katotohanan. Siguro po dapat kumonsulta sila sa mga optometrist at mga optician. Makagamit sila ng tamang salamin, makita nila yung mga binanggit ko. At turuan naman kayo ng tamang sagot. Hindi po LTFRB ang may sala sa mga sinabi kong mga terminal na naghambalan sa EDSA, Buendia, at iba pang mga lansangan sa Metro Manila. And right now, this malpractice is spreading out even in Southern Luzon. Kung kayo po'y magbabiyahe papuntang Quezon, makikita ninyo, bagong gawang konkretong lansangan, pinalapad from a 4-lane avenue, ginawa po nilang 8. Pero yung kalahati po, terminal ng bus. Ganyan po ang nangyayari ngayon. Lalala po yan kung itong batas na ito ay ating ipapasa. So therefore, honorable gentlemen and ladies, we hope we were able to open up our eyes and senses on the real problems besetting our country. We are imbued with the same patriotic sense. Let us act accordingly. This law should be reverted back for further study. And if I see, and when I see the word corruption written already in our own faces, then I'll believe on the effectivity of this law. Otherwise, this is a waste of paper, waste of time, waste of the efforts of the gentleman, which could be better put use in improving the local governance in many parts of the country, but definitely not in solving the traffic mess in Manila, the National Capital Region, or for that matter, Metro Cebu and Metro Davao. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the indulgence of the gentleman. There is nothing personal between the two of us. I know you mean well, but you are wrong 100%. Thank you.
Well, I respect the observations of the honorable gentleman from Party List Buhay ang sa kanyang pangamba na magkaroon ng corruption in the implementation of the Traffic Crisis Act. Pero kung babasahin po ng buo ang Traffic Crisis Act, pagbigay ng poder na mag-enter into negotiated procurement, punong-puno rin po ng mga safety nets para maiwasan yung kinakatakutan na abusuhin ang poder na ibinigay ng panukalang batas na ito.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the lady from ACT Teachers Party List, Representative Franz Castro. So move, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Representative Franz Castro is recognized for her interpellation.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker. Yung ating po bang kagalang-galang na sponsor ay willing na tumanggap po ng mga clarification question mula sa representasyong ito.
Pwede po para maklarify po yung mga dapat liwanagin.
So unang-una po, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker, ang unang tanong ko po ay may kinalaman doon sa public transport, particularly yung corporatization ng public transport. So, una po doon sa Section 16, ano pong ibig sabihin natin ng appropriate capacity to serve the routes? Anong mga pamantayan para masabing ang operator ay may appropriate capacity? Sa paanong paraan igagawad ang mga prangkisang ito? At ano po yung mga pamantayan para makonsiderang operator?
Anong section yun? Sa bagay pong yan, it has a relation to the so-called route rationalization plan na under Section 16, nakasaad po sa Section 15, ang tawag po ay route rationalization for public utility vehicles. There shall be established a route rationalization plan for PUVs which shall be submitted to the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee not later than 8 months from the effectivity of this act, which shall include the following minimum components. Number one, it shall contain provide a procedure for integration of different transportation modes into a unified public transport network. Then, identification of the various primary, secondary, and ancillary routes with the corresponding determination of the primary and secondary routes' measured capacity based on the passenger demand and the destination of demand during certain times of the day, with particular focus on traffic rush hours and road size. Kung titingnan nyo po sa panukalang batas, wala naman tayong sinasabi na corporatization. No? Ang kailangan po para malutas po ang ating problema sa traffic ay magkaroon ng honest to goodness route rationalization. Ang ibig pong sabihin, alamin po ang route measured capacity ng isang lansangan. No? Para having determined yung measured capacity, ay aalamin kung ano ngayon ang pinaka-akma, appropriate, the determination of the size, type, and number of PUVs, among others to include yung malalaki ito, dahil mass transport, double-decker, articulated bus, minibus, jeepney, Asian utility vehicle. So pinaka-appropriate po sa nasabing rutang yon, having determined the route measured capacity.
Thank you po. Nabanggit po natin yung route rationalization. So sa tatlong metro, yung Metro Manila, Metro Davao at Metro Cebu, ang DOTR po ba ay meron na pong nakahandang o meron na po silang route rationalization by this time? Kasi kung ito po ay maaprubahan, so mabilis na po ito na mayaano yung sinasabi ninyong after 8 months or 6 months, yung route rationalization. Kasi alam ko po na napakatagal na nitong napapag-usapan sa ating committee, sa committee niyo po. Pero hanggang ngayon parang wala pang malinaw na sagot yung ating mga taga-DOTR para doon sa route rationalization. At meron pang mga study, mga pag-aaral pa na ginagawa sa UP, Ateneo. So, meron na po ba tayong at least man lang draft or meron na po ba na route rationalization dun sa tatlong syudad po na nabanggit natin?
Dito po sa panukalang batas ay naatasan ang appropriate agency to conduct the so-called route rationalization plan within 8 months from the effectivity of this act. Trabaho po ng Department of Transportation ang bagay na ito. Ang aking pagkakaintindi, ito ay ongoing pa po ang sinasabing route rationalization plan. But for purposes of the implementation of this proposed measure, identifying Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, and Metro Davao, siguro po wala pa po, except ongoing ang masasabi ko.
So wala pa po yung route rationalization. Kasi paano natin matutukoy kasi magkakaroon na dito ng modernization, di po ba? Sabi dito na lahat ng mode of transportation, maging ito man ay jeepney, maging ito man ay tricycle, o kuliglig, o naman po pong uri ng transportation, ay nilalayong i-rationalize yung route ng mga to. So ang dami pong maapektuhan nito na kung hanggang ngayon po hindi pa handa, siguro mga ilang panahon na lang maaprubahan na tong batas na to. So kung ganun po, so meron po tayong pag-aagam-agam dun sa ating mga maliliit na mga driver, mga tricycle drivers kaugnay nitong rationalization, route rationalization, kasi hindi nila alam kung sila ba ay mananatili pa or whatever po mangyayari sa kanila.
Depende po yan sa pag-aaral, resulta po ng route rationalization plan. Kung sa tingin, after the conduct of the route rationalization plan, ay sobra po ang numero ng pampublikong sasakyan, ay pag-iisipan po ng appropriate agency kung ano ang akmang public transportation that will address the problem of traffic. But kung halimbawa, sobra po, definitely may maapektuhan. Pero sa pagsusuri po, after conducting the route rationalization plan, ay hindi sobra, baka kulang pa, hindi po maapektuhan.
Okay. So, halimbawa po sa tricycle, ang nagre-regulate po nito ay yung ating mga LGU. Tama po ba?
Sa ngayon po, ang power na yan po, originally sa DOTR through LTFRB, but na-delegate po sa LGU ang pagbigay ng power to issue franchise
So,
ng mga
kung maaprubahan po itong batas na ito, definitely mapupunta po ang regulation nito doon sa LTFRB, babalik. Mawawala na po ito sa ating mga local government units.
Depende po yan sa resulta po ng route rationalization plan. Kung sobra po ang numero ng mga tricycle sa isang ruta, ay maapektuhan po yan. And then mag-iisip po ang appropriate agency kung ano ang malaki-laking sasakyan ang pwedeng bumaybay sa rutang yun.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, di na po maiiwasan dito sa modernization plan na nilalayon ng batas na ito, ng panukalang batas na ito, ay yung tinatawag natin ng privatisasyon ng ating, mas lalo pang privatisasyon ng ating mga public transport. At malalaking korporasyon ang magpi-play dito. So, ito po, linawin ko lang, nilalayon ba ng batas na ito na isaalang-alang ang public transport sa pribadong sektor at mga malalaking korporasyon?
Sa panukalang batas ay wala naman kayong mababasa tungkol sa privatization or mapupunta sa mga korporasyon. Basta nilalayon po ng panukalang batas na ito na maiayos ang problema natin sa trapiko by way of really finding out yung route measured capacity ng isang ruta at bigyan ng appropriate na public utility vehicle para matugunan ang problema sa trapiko.
Mr. Sponsor, ano po yung pamantayan? Halimbawa po, kung isa pong korporasyon po ba, mga cooperative lang po ba, ang makakapag-avail ng modernization plan na ito sa mga PUJ at mga ano po. So ano po yung mga pamantayan para ma-avail yung financial assistance para sa mga PUB modernization? Kasi definitely po matatanggal na dito yung individual na mga driver na nagmamay-ari ng kanilang mga jeepney. Tama po ba? So kung ano po yung pamantayan para magkaroon po yung mga maliliit na mga cooperatives o yung mga nagsama-samang mga jeepney drivers para maka-avail sila ng modernization o pondo mula dito.
Well, kung babasahin po natin ang panukalang batas sa kabuuan, wala ho tayong binabanggit na binibigyan ng prioridad ang mga private corporation para tugunan ang problema sa trapiko. Ang sinasabi po ng panukalang batas ay alamin ng tunay ang kapasidad ng isang ruta at ano ang pinaka-appropriate na sasakyan. Kung halimbawa po, ma-determine na sobra-sobra ang bumabaybay na public utility vehicle, definitely the appropriate agency will have to determine to address the problem of congestion, kung ano ang pwedeng type of public utility vehicle with priority to addressing the optimal use of that the capacity of that route.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, ang katanungan ko po ay yung para dun sa mga maliliit na mga drivers na gustong mag-avail nitong modernization o financial assistance sa batas na ito. So ano po ba yung mga minimum na mga requirements o mga minimum na bagong units, yung mga capacity to avail ng financial assistance, ano po ba meron magkakaroon dito?
Ayon sa Section 26 po ng panukalang batas, may nakasaad doon referring to financial assistance to PUV modernization. The Development Bank of the Philippines shall reserve funds to facilitate the improvement and enhancement of PUVs in the metropolitan areas. The DBP shall extend financial assistance to existing public transportation operators with valid franchise to enable them to modernize their units. It shall provide financing to qualified applicants at preferred rates and shall report to the JCOC on the funding made available to support the implementation of this section.
Okay, so Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, so sa makatuwid, wala pa po talaga yung pinaka-detalye, yung mga qualification, kung paano ma-avail. Kasi i-determine pa po ito nung ating financier, yung Development Bank of the Philippines. Tama po ba, Mr.
Wala pa hong guidelines. In general lang po, yun po ang sinasabi na ang DBP po ay magbibigay po ng financial assistance sa mga qualified applicants.
Nung binubuo po, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker, ang panukalang batas na ito, halimbawa po ng mga PUB franchises, ano po ang naisip ng committee at ng DOTR para maisip ang ganitong provision? Makikipagkompetensya po ba ang gobyerno sa mga fleet management companies o sa mga corporation na maaaring mag-take over ng mga public transport? Oras ba na ma-take over ng PUB franchise ang gobyerno, pwede ba itong ipasok sa PPP?
Well, sa katanungan ninyo, pwede po as a last resort, pwedeng pumasok po ang gobyerno para makatulong po sa pagtugon sa problema ng trapiko.
So possible din po ba dito yung PPP, Public-Private Partnership, kaugnay nung pag-aano natin ng modernization?
Wala. Well, again, pwede nating masabing pwede mangyari with the end in view of addressing the problem of traffic. The government will resort to that.
Okay. So, alam niyo po, meron mga jeepney drivers na nagpapatanong nito, yung pong mga bagong mga jeepney, siguro mga 3 taon o 4 na taon pa lang na maayos pa naman po yung jeepney, tapos nagbayad po sila ng mga prangkisa. So kung ito po ay mai-implementa, yung ano pong mangyayari dun sa naibayad nilang prangkisa na napakalaki naman ay binabayad nila sa LTFRB? Ano pong provision dito sa panukalang batas na yun?
Well, sa pagdating po sa sinasabi niyo pong malaking pagbayad ng prangkisa, kung titingnan nyo po, if we will require or ask the LTFRB how much is being required by LTFRB to pay for the franchise, ay hindi naman ganun kataasan. No? Very reasonable ang binabayad po para makakuha ng prangkisa. Ngayon, yung mga jeepney na sa rutang yon, it will be determined that there are more numbers of PUVs flying along that route, and there is a need to reduce the number dahil malaki, may mekanismo po dito sa panukalang batas yung maapektuhan, may mekanismo para mabayaran po ang affected owners ng public transport.
Thank you, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker. Nakakalungkot, no? Kasi sa Section 16, malinaw dito na ire-revoke sa loob ng 6 na buwan ang lahat ng mga naibigay na prangkisa sa mga smaller capacity PUVs, gaya ng tricycle din at mga pedicab, at depende sa LTFRB, umaabot sa turuyang pagkansela sa karamihan sa mga ito. So nakita natin malaki, mga iba dyan, mga nangutang pa para dun sa kanilang mga pambayad dun sa prangkisa. Ironically po, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, ang gagamiting pondo po sa pagpapatupad ng panukalang batas na ito ay ang MBUC Special Vehicle Pollution Control Fund. Pondong para sana sa regular na rehabilitasyon at pagmintina ng mga PUVs na ginagamit lang ng gobyerno ito, na katulad nga ng nabanggit ni Congressman dito Atienza kanina, yung korupsyon. Hindi ba pwedeng tumindig ang sponsor at ang panukalang batas na ito sa panawagan ng ating mga tsuper sa rehabilitasyon sa halip na phase out ng kanilang mga jeepney? Ito po ay panawagan po ito ng ating mga jeepney drivers. Hindi naman po sila against do sa modernization. Sino ba naman ang aayaw sa pagdadrive ng magandang jeepney, di po ba? So, hindi po ba pwedeng tumindig ang sponsor para ma-rehabilitate o mabigyan ng aid naman yung ating mga kawawang mga drivers sa kasalukuyan?
Well, ang layunin po ng panukalang batas na ito ay matugunan ang malaking problema natin na kinakaharap. Yan po ang trafiko na nararamdaman po ng lahat. Kaya kailangan po natin, as I have been saying, na after the conduct of road rationalization plan, after determining the road measured capacity and determining the appropriate PUV, kung gaya ng sinabi ko, kung ang isang ruta ay tama lang po ang numero, hindi po maapektuhan ang mga existing operators. Pero if after the conduct of route rationalization plan ay napag-alaman na sobra-sobra po ang present number of PUVs, ay ang resulta po ay may maapektuhan, mababawasan, bagkos ang bibigyan po ng pamantayan ng ating pamahalaan to give preference to PUVs that would accommodate more passengers. And naintindihan po natin, kaya nga po naglagay po tayo dito ng social support mechanism na may maapektuhan, and in case of those that will be dislocated in the implementation of the measures contained in this proposed measure, some assistance should be given to the affected transport operators.
Kaugnay po dun sa trapiko, no? Lahat po tayo gusto nating maibsan yung ating problema dun sa trapiko, dahil talaga namang bukod po sa yung ating mga mas mananakay, yung ating po mga manggagawa, yung ating mga estudyante, mga empleyado, ay talagang apektado dito, ay gusto natin naman makadagdag ito sa paggulong ng ating ekonomiya. Di po ba? Sa trapiko, bakit po parang ang batas na ito ay nagdidiin masyado dun sa mga pampublikong sasakyan, katulad ng mga jeepney, ng mga tricycle? Hindi po ba na ma-address ng batas na ito na kaugnay o kaya tahimik ang batas po na ito tungkol sa mga pribadong mga sasakyan naman na mas 4 na beses ang laki, dami, nung mga, kung ikukumpara po natin ito sa mga buses natin o kaya mga jeepneys. Di po ba? Bakit parang tahimik ang batas na ito, kaugnay naman sa pagre-regulate ng ating mga private cars? Ano po ba yung ino-offer ng ating batas na ito, kaugnay naman sa regulationing ng ating mga private cars?
Ang bagay na po yan ay naitanong na dati ng Representative Tinio and Representative Franz Brosas. Ang bagay na yan, bakit nakasentro, nakatuon ang panukalang ito sa mga pampublikong sasakyan, bakit hindi po sa mga pribado? Kung tutuusin po, sa ibang bansa, napakaayos po ng kanilang public transportation. Kaya po ang mga private owners ay hindi nila dinadala ang sasakyan nila to the point of destination. Instead, they are using the public transportation. Sad to say, yun po ang problema po dito sa ating bayan, na wala tayong sufficient, efficient mass transportation, and that is why ang ating mga kababayan ay napipilitan bumili ng mga sasakyan para makarating sa kanilang paroroonan. Kaya if we will be able to put up an efficient mass transportation, then that would be the time that ang ating mga private vehicle owners would rather choose riding public transportation.
Okay, so sana po ma-address, hindi pa po nasasagot yung tanong ko, no? Sana po ma-address yung regulation naman po doon sa ating mga private cars. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, naniniwala ko doon sinabi niya, Mr. Sponsor, na sa mga, lalo na sa mga maunlad na bansa, na maayos ang kanilang mass transportation, ay less yung mga private cars. Totoo po yan. Sa Netherlands nga, mga bisikleta ang ginagamit, di po ba? At naging efficient naman. Alam niyo po, narinig ko na po yan eh. Alam niyo po, noong pong ginagawa yung MRT3, narinig ko yung plano dyan na ang mangyayari, point to point, magkakaroon po ng parang parking lot para sa mga private vehicles na doon po ipopondo para po yung ating mga manggagawa, yung mga empleyado, mga nag-opisina ay dadaan na lang ng MRT. Tapos doon sila bababa, doon sa kanilang pong bababaan. So maganda po yung sana yun. Pero ano po yung nangyari? Pagkalipas ng ilang taon, nakita natin yung kabulukan ng ating MRT, mga LRT, na hindi naman po na, at actually maganda po yung naging planong ganun eh, kaya lang hindi lang napatupad. Naipasa sa private sector, yung ating MRT, sa halip na ito po ay nationalized yung ating public transport na yan at naayos pa siguro yung mga maintenance at lahat ng yan at hindi na ibigay sa pampribadong sektor. Sana po, yun po dapat yung ideal, di po ba Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, na dapat na gawin. Pero dito po ba sa emergency power na ibibigay natin sa ating chief ng traffic SHAR, ay pwedeng ma-address yung ganung pong konsepto o magawa yung ganung pamamaraan?
Sa aking pagkakaalam po, ang Department of Transportation ay nag-iisip ng mga maraming bagay para maibsan ang problema sa trapiko. Nandyan po ang mga pending projects po, yung pagkakaroon ng mga integrated terminal sa mga strategic places, no? Para mabawasan ang numerong pampublikong sasakyan na bumabaybay sa mga busy streets like EDSA. At tulad po, nung unang ginawa po ang MRT3, may malaking problema tayo noong 1990s, lalong-lalo na dyan sa EDSA, kaya naisipan ang solusyon ang pag-put up po ng MRT. Maganda po ang layunin. For a while, it was able to address the problem of congestion, and it encourages the free flow of movements of passengers. Kaya lang po sa tagal na po ng ating MRT system at hindi magandang pagpapatakbo, we are now suffering the problem of constant glitches to the great inconvenience of our passengers.
Salamat po. Yung Section 41 po, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, about traffic education. Nakalagay po dito, the DOTR, LTO, LTFRB, DepEd, and TESDA shall jointly develop a program for drivers' education and for road and pedestrian etiquette education that shall be incorporated as a mandatory subject in the senior high school curriculum. So sa konkreto po, Mr. Sponsor, Mr. Speaker, pwede niyo ba ako mabigyan ng idea paano po magagawa itong Section 41 na ito? Kasi po ngayon, alam niyo po, as early as grade 9 and 10, itinuturo na po yung automotive, itinuturo na rin po yung mga traffic signs, yung mga kung ano-ano po. Pero sa kasamaang palad sa ating mga high schools, sa ating mga eskwelahan, wala rin naman tayong mga enough na mga resources para ito ay mas maiging maituro sa ating mga estudyante. So dito po ba magkakaroon ng dagdag na pondo yung ating, for example, yung DepEd, yung ating mga eskwelahan para dito?
Para maisakatuparan ang planong ito, siyempre para maging matagumpay ang programang ito, mangangailangan po ito ng pondo. And definitely, this will be funded so that it will be implemented nationwide, particularly sa K-12, para in the future, makakatulong po ito sa paghanap ng solusyon ng ating problema sa ngayon sa trapiko.
Okay po, kasi dito nakalagay, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, mandatory subject in senior high school curriculum. So, ibig sabihin ngayon, iaayon na ng DepEd, ng TESDA, ang kanilang magiging curriculum para mai-incorporate po itong mga sinasabi natin na may kinalaman dun sa etiquette, pedestrian etiquette, at iba pa pong mga kinakailangan na malaman ng ating mga estudyante.
Sa language po ng provision po ito, it being a mandatory, so it would be a compulsory maging part of the curriculum sa K-12. So pag-uusapan po ito ng mga concerned agencies to come up with a module that would really address the problem, addressing the problem of traffic.
Okay. Last question na po, no? Dito po sa Section 38, ito lang po, bigla lang po akong na-struck dito dahil gagamitin dito yung pondo ng GSIS. Alam niyo naman ang purpose ng pondo ng GSIS para sa protection po ng mga empleyado ng gobyerno in terms ng pangangailangan, sa paglo-loan, sa kanilang educational needs ng kanilang pamilya, at medical needs ng kanilang pamilya, sa retirement, at iba pa. Pero nabigla po ako, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, sa Section 38, protection against lawsuits. Protection laban sa pagbibigay ng in terms na magkaroon ng cases. So nakalagay po dito, basahin ko public officers involved in the implementation of policies and priority projects covered by this act shall be insured against litigation by the government service insurance system in the event that the Office of the Solicitor General or the Office of the Government Corporate Counsel is not authorized to represent them. The concerned public officer shall obtain the needed insurance coverage from the GSIS and hire legal counsel unless the GSIS itself determines that such official has clearly violated the laws. So bakit po inilagay itong part na ito, itong provision na ito, na ibig sabihin, gagamitin ng batas na ito yung GSIS fund para sa kung sino man po yung magpapatupad ng batas na ito at nagkaroon ng problema, ay maaari pong bayaran ng GSIS through yung mga insurance at iba pang mga representation fees na nakasaad dito. Ano po bang ibig sabihin nito? Mr. Speaker, Mr.
If
Sponsor.
the public official in the performance of his function, in the implementation of the provision of this proposed measure, a lawsuit is filed against him as a regular function of his regular performance of his function, so there is a need to provide him protection, help from the government. No, so the concerned government agency it will pay the required premium to GSIS, because I understand that it's only the GSIS that offers this kind of program, and but GSIS is not duty bound or has the right to refuse if in their evaluation the public official that sought to be insured has clearly violated the law.
Okay, so nakalagay po dito, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, the concerned, hindi lang po insurance the concerned public officer shall obtain the needed insurance coverage na babayaran po ng ahensya. Halimbawa po ng DOTR. Tama po ba to, Mr. Sponsor?
In case of lawsuit.
In case of lawsuit, nakalagay din po dito and hire legal counsel.
Yes,
So, ibig
because
sabihin, gagamitin po rin yung pondo para sa pag-hire ng ating legal counsel dito? Kasi parang medyo, yung Section 38 po ay, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, ay parang malabo po. Kasi pag nabasa po ito ng mga government employees na gagamitin yung ating pondo sa GSIS, kaugnay ng mga sigalot na maari pong case na maari pong ibigay dun sa officer ng magpapatupad ng batas na ito, ay pwede nang ma-access yung pondo ng GSIS through insurance and pag-hire ng legal counsel.
nakasaad po dito sa provision na ito in case the Office of the Solicitor General, the Solicitor General's Office and the Government Corporate Counsel would not be able to represent the public official in case of lawsuit as a result of his discharge of duties in the implementation of this proposed measure. Definitely, he has to secure the services of a lawyer, and that is the purpose why we have to ask GSIS upon payment of the requisite premium so that he has the necessary funds to answer the charges filed against him.
So malaki-laki pong insurance ito na i-avail nung mga officers na sinasabi ninyo. At sa pagkakaintindi ko po, kung talagang ang trabaho po ng Solicitor General ay talagang mag-represent dun sa ating officers ng gobyerno na maanhan ng legal suit. So, ito po ba, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, hindi ko po nakita kung ano po yung naging comment ng GSIS kaugnay nito. Naimbitahan po ba natin sa isang committee hearing ang GSIS kaugnay po nitong Section 38 na ito?
In the crafting of this proposed measure, we have invited all offices concerned mentioned in this proposed measure.
Including GSIS,
yes,
Mr. Sponsor.
but
So ano po,
to
meron po ba silang written comment or reaction man lang dito?
The answer is in the positive.
Pwede po bang makahingi ang Mr. Speaker, Mr. Sponsor, pwede po bang makahingi ang representasyong ito nung written comments nila ng GSIS kaugnay nito bilang bilang membro ng GSIS na nagbabayad. Alam niyo po ba magkano binabayaran natin sa GSIS? 20,000 a month yung binabayaran natin. Yung mga maliliit na empleyado, mga 1.5 a month na iniipon yon para sa mga retirement at iba pang pangangailangan. Dahil may concern dito yung pondo ng GSIS, ito po yung isa sa concern ko rin na malinawan kung ito po ba ay naging, bakit po nag-positive dito ang GSIS para matanong ko naman po ang GSIS kaugnay nito,
Yeah,
Mr. Sponsor.
we will be giving you a copy of the written comment submitted to us by GSIS para lang sa kalinawagan po ng ating kasama na ang bagay na ito ay magko-cover lang po yung cost of litigation. Now, in case of a decision adverse to the public officer ay hindi na po sagot nun.
Okay po, pero siguro po ang pwedeng mai-amend or pwedeng masuggest ng kinatawang ito ay tanggalin na lang itong Section 38 na to. Kasi malinaw naman sa batas na dapat yung Solicitor General yung mag-represent dun sa official natin na may magkakaroon ng ganitong problema. So ito lang po, Mr. Sponsor. Salamat po sa inyong patience at sa ating pong speaker. Thank you po.
Maraming salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, before we recognize the next interpolator, I move that we designate the following members to the Bicameral Conference Committee on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 6772 and Senate Bill number 1444 on ensuring the preservation and management of protected areas. Representative Arnel T., Representative Rodel Batocabe, Representative Josephine Ramirez Sato, Representative Gil Acosta, and Representative Orestes Salon. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we designate Representative Eric Olivares as additional member of the Bicameral Conference Committee on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 6573 and Senate Bill number 1662 regarding prohibiting hazing and regulating other forms of initiation rights. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. The same is approved.
I understand that the gentleman from Albay would like to ask some questions, and I asked, may I be excused from entertaining his interpellation until tomorrow?
Majority Leader.
1 minute suspension, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the resumption of session. Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend consideration of House Bill number 6425. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend consideration on House Bill number 6425. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the suspension of session.
Session suspended.
Mr. Speaker, I move to resume session.
Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adjourn.
Before Mr. Speaker, I move that we send the bills to be approved on third reading to the Senate.
Is there any objection?
Ano?
The Secretariat is directed
Mr. Speaker, I move to adjourn.
to send the aforementioned bills. There is a Is there any objection? Chair is none. We adjourn until tomorrow, February 21, 2018, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.